Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back with a brand new What If. I know I did not announce this formally. I didn't normally announce things maybe a couple days beforehand, but this was kind of just out of sheer whim. I actually remembered. Shout out to my boy Art Droid, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Shout out to my boy Art Droid. He gave me this suggestion a long time ago, even gave me like some art and stuff, and I just literally forgot to do it. And then I was thinking about what I should do, and I remembered that, went to our DMs and I messaged him about it. And yeah, I mean, that's why I'm here doing this What If right now. And yeah, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time, and we're just gonna get right into the What If. Let's get it. Izuku Midoriya. In other universes, he gained his quirk from All Might. In some, he was gifted the power of death. And in others, he could control the dead itself. But this Izuku Midoriya is different. He's different to the point that, well, he doesn't have a quirk. And it remained that way for his whole miserable life. Izuku Midoriya wanted to still be a hero, or at least that's what the assumption was for a long time. So he decided to train under mercenaries, assassins, and martial artists alike to learn what he could about the art of killing. But heroes couldn't kill, but he could use these ideas to help him become a hero, going to a minor hero school and trying to train himself to the point that he could be a pro. And this led him to his third year of high school. Based on his capabilities, he was actually able to skip his first 2 years of a hero high school, especially when it's such a minor one like the one he was going to. It's such a no-name hero high school that they're honestly pleased to have someone like Izuku. He may be quirkless, but he's stronger than everybody there. So Izuku keeps working hard, especially in his third year of high school, ready to, well, head out into the real pro hero scene. That's until something drastic occurs, something that he could not think, well, would ever occur to him. He went to the hospital with his mother, and they diagnosed him with, well, terminal cancer. Cancer that would end the boy's life and dreams of being a hero. Izuku wanted to go through treatment, but it was too late. He couldn't do anything about it, so he decided that he would forego, well, his high school. He didn't want to be there anymore. He wanted to make a difference now, and if that meant doing it the quote-unquote illegal way, he'd do just that. But even that would lead down a spiral of, well, criminal type of actions. Izuku realized that with his last breaths, he didn't have much to lose anyways. He was quirkless. Hero society shamed him for it. So why should he be a hero? He should do things his own way. So that's what he began doing. He began taking contracts from an unknown supplier, someone that would pay him to kill certain people. For a while he did this until he got so sick that he couldn't do it anymore. His mother began to get worried about where he's been and what he's been doing, and actually she has something for him. A way to get cured is right on the horizon. A group of people have been, well, experimenting with this idea, and they finally came to the conclusion that the terminally ill could be cured. At least that's what the postcard says. So Izuku goes over there, and when he arrives, well, he's greeted by some sketchy people that bring him in, make him sign papers, and immediately get to work. Whoa, don't tie me down so hard. Like, buy me dinner first. They tighten the grips even harder, making it so he can't move. Azuku, obviously making his smart remarks and quips, realizes that this is serious, that these people are doing experiments that are far beyond anything a normal doctor would just do. He began to undergo these experiments. It felt like soon he would have a date with death, that he would die not next to his mother, but next to these spineless scientists that were experimenting on him, ripping him apart. They would, burn him. They would reduce his oxygen inputs. They would scold him with boiling water. They do various torturous acts in this name of science, in the name of curing him, they would say. Azuku's smart remarks never left him though. He knew that if he was going to die, that he would get the last laugh anyways, so it didn't matter. During his torture sessions, he'd slyly remark at the doctors that were torturing him more or less, and they'd get even more mad and mad. It's as if these experiments were for their own pleasure, and seeing somebody remark at them as he was actually was torture itself. Azuku would laugh more and more until one, weekend, they left him in an oxygen-deprived chamber for 3 days. Azuku's skin began to morph. It became scaly, looked like it had holes. It looked like he was becoming a monster. Azuku can feel this and began to try to rip his way out, eventually being able to, and actually sparking something that he stole a while ago from, one of the doctors, and it goes up in flames. The entire building explodes in a blaze of glory, and Azuku is dead. Or at least, that's what everyone began to think. But Azuku Midoriya was not dead. Azuku Midoriya was not alive. He seemed to be in between. His cancer would kill him, but his body would bring him back. He was in an eternal state of suffering, you could call it. An eternal state of living and dying. When you live and die at the same time, you can never go to either side. So Azuku, he was alive in the eyes of the people. You could see him in front of you, walking around and doing such a thing, but it seemed like he was working in a fog. Working in a way that he didn't feel alive necessarily. Maybe being dead would make him feel that way. But that's a question for another time. Azuku needs to get out of here, and he tries to do just that. Police and other people began to arrive at the scene of the giant explosion, in which Azuku is able to swiftly escape, and he's able to swiftly get back home. Azuku enters his house, stumbling and mumbling under his breath, and calls to his mother, and his mother runs out to see him, dragging his tattered and bruised body across the floor, and she picks him up and puts him on the bed, asking what happened. And he explains that this so-called, cure of terminal illness was a torture center, a torture of his body, his mind, and everything alike. And his mother begins to sob and apologize, but Azuku says that it's fine. It seems like he's cured. He's not dying. He can feel it, but he's not living necessarily either. It's kind of odd. It's as if he's healing before the cancer could fully kill him. His mother is shocked by this and is so confused, but she asks maybe it's his quirk that got activated, but he says that this feels like something different, that there's something else to this. There's something else to this torture that they did, but maybe he'll never find that out. Inko begins saying that he could become a hero, but Azuku decides that he doesn't want that by any means actually anymore, and admits to his mother what he's been doing. He's become more or less a mercenary for hire, but he only eliminates people that he deems, well, that needs to be eliminated. But his mother doesn't judge him actually for some reason, and says that she will love him unconditionally no matter what. If he looks like Izuku, if he looks different than Izuku, if he has a mask on, if he has a suit of people's own blood, it won't matter to her. This gives Izuku the idea. He basically tells her that, does she remember the same suit that she made him months ago? And she says, of course, that it's in the closet. He asks if they can change that suit to red, give him a mask, and well, give him the eyes of a dead person, some white, something that is just pure white and that you can't see his eyes. He wants to be able to, well, embrace that side when he goes out the next time. Inko actually agrees to this. Inko wants to see her baby boy succeed in anything he does, and obviously wants those people, whoever did this to him, to be punished. Inko is showing a new side of herself. The one mother that we see in various universes that cares for Izuku is present, but even present to a more degree. She cares even more about Izuku, to the point that she wants him to do what he sees to be best. And to be best is to be the merc with a mouth. He needs to be the mercenary that he's been, but at a higher level now. He needs to be something different. Some time passes and finally his suit is completely in order and he gets everything settled. Eventually going back to more or less these contractors. It's an underground bar that basically has a hit list. A list of people that the other people want dead. He heads down there, and when he arrives, he begins seeing a list of bets. He asks what's that all about, and they all greet him back, saying that they swore he was going to be dead. He said that he had cancer. What happened? Well, it's interesting. So now you want to tell me why you have all those names up there and why mine has the most bets? The bartender then tells him, well, you see, we have bets on who we think will die first, and we call it the Deadpool. But it seems that, well, most people counted on you dying first after your whole, well, cancer thing. I see. That's interesting. Where do I get the money? What are you talking about? No one has died yet. Yeah, but I don't think I can die. So your little Deadpool doesn't really matter to me now. They begin questioning him what he's talking about, and he explains the, well, agony he went through. And that's about it. He doesn't explain anything more or less. They ask him how does that have anything to do with not dying, and he tells them that that's for him to know and for them to find out. But for now, he'd like another mission. Another, well, hit, you could say. He needs some money, and he needs, well, it kind of now. So he's given another hit on a gang drug lord type of person again, and he goes out and kills him. And during the fight, he begins stretching his limits and trying to see, well, how much he can endure. The gang, well, or drug lord boss begins blasting him with an MP5 and laying bullets into him. Izuku falls on the ground and collapses, and he begins to laugh, saying that the famous mercenary with a mouth, or merc with a mouth, is finally dead. But Izuku starts getting up, and the holes that were shown in his chest, his abdomen, his legs, his throat begin to heal. He clears his throat. Sorry, my voice, gets a little scratchy when bullets fly through my throat. The drug lord boss is beginning to freak out and saying that he's dead. You're dead. No, I'm not dead. I'm Deadpool. Izuku charges in an instant and stabs a sword straight through the drug lord boss, killing him, and then heads back to the bar. The underground bar with all the hits. He gets his money and he decides not to make or get another mission. He decides to do something for his own personal pleasure, and that's hunting down these, people that did this to him. And he wants to just, thank them for their contribution to his work. So he heads off in search of these scientists, coming back to the ruined building, seeing that all the equipment that survived is now gone. But there are trails they left, trails that he may be able to follow to find these people. Eventually, he finds someone that looks familiar. He decides to stalk them for a while and see if they have any importance. But it seems like they don't. They don't have any importance at all, so he drops down, grabs them, pulls them into an alleyway, and puts a gun to their head. Hello, Mr. Scientist. I didn't get your name in the first place, but it's not like anybody really cares. Am I right, listeners? What are you talking about? Who are you even talking to? Oh, sorry about that. Now, I need some information. Actually, about all your other scientist buddies. But more importantly, who you work for. Izuku smiles widely, obviously not being able to be seen through the mask. But even the scientists can tell that there is a smirk overwhelming the face of Izuku. And the scientist spills anything that he knows, saying that they work for the League of Villains, some group that tries to basically take over Japan. A group that is trying to make an army, and they were trying to contribute, and it seems like they did. They made a super soldier of some sorts, and Izuku smirks once again through his mask and slaps him in the face. Super soldier? No, more like a super mercenary. Come on, you don't have to do that. Call me Deadpool, by the way. I think that's a way better name than a super soldier. Super soldier? That sounds so lame. The guy is shaking in his boots. This man is holding a gun to his head, fiddling it around, and laughing about the torture that he was put through. Now, let's not think about the torture I was put through, okay? Let's actually talk to you. Can we learn about, where that boss of yours is? The man is shaking and shakes his head that he doesn't know. He swears on it. Oh, come on, you're holding out on me, right? You must have something. And he says no, that he doesn't. And Izuku shoots him in the foot and smiles once again. Are you sure? You don't have anything. Nothing at all. I really don't. I don't. He shoots him in the other foot and continues to interrogate him until he's actually given a location. A location of a possible base of the League of Villains. So Izuku decides to head over there. He heads there, and when he arrives, it seems vacant, abandoned, and a screen turns on. Hello. I've heard in the streets you're called Deadpool. Are you really talking to me through a screen? Did you really say the streets as if we're some gang members? That is really old-fashioned, man. Like, you sound like you're trying to be hip, but old-fashioned at the same time. It doesn't make sense. Enough of playing. I've heard about you. Deadpool, the one that was on the brink of death from cancer itself. The human body was being destroyed. But you survived it because of us. You tortured me. I survived it because you tortured me. It really doesn't make sense, but thanks, I guess. You gave me the means to actually cut your head off and hang it up on a tree. All for One continues on. Do you really not know who I am? You know it won't be that simple. You know who I am, don't you? I'm not sure. You have a screen. Let me give this a thought. Since my, writer just said you're all for one, I assume you're all for one. I'm not here to play games with you, boy. So, if you want to work for me, you can. But, trust me, if you decide you don't want to, you'll die. I'll die. Is that a promise? Because frankly, if it's a promise, I might have to not work for you because I really do want to die. Are you even taking me seriously? Oh, the person on a screen that I can't even see. Yeah, I'm taking you seriously. All for One is now boiling. He is pissed. He's never had someone speak with him like this. Izuku doesn't care about his remarks, doesn't care about what All for One has to say, but All for One gives in. He doesn't care anymore. Let's see how strong you actually are, Mr. Deadpool. 3 Nomus then arrive after All for One pushes one button, and Izuku stares at them and his eyes grow wide. Oh my god. It's a bunch of oversized birds. I think I've seen this in some Teen Titans show before. I'm not so sure. All for One, you can hear him sigh in complete annoyance, and the TV turns off. Well, I guess it's time to have some fun. And that is a wrap for part 1 of What If Deku Was Deadpool. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, sub, all that good stuff. Yeah, if you have any suggestions for this What If, also obviously for future What Ifs, let me know. I'm actually enjoying this so far. I feel like this kind of can go hand to hand with a jokey type of story writing I do sometimes. So yeah, I mean, that's about it. I hope all y'all enjoyed. I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.